The repliset system has just three simple components, and it's very easy to use. First is the dispensing gun. Next, the cartridges that have a double-barreled cartridge with the polymer and the curing agent in two separate tubes. The third component is a mixing nozzle, which goes on the end, attaches in place. This will mix the hardener and the polymer and make it ready for use immediately. For a typical application, a micro or some prepared specimen out in the field, an etched micro, you can simply dispense the material. It mixes in the nozzle and just scan back and forth across the surface. The material flows into the topographical differences on the sample and makes a replica. We can leave it to cure that way, or we can use backing paper, which gives us an opportunity to put a little pressure on the backside to spread the material a little bit better. It also provides a surface that we can record the location or some information about that particular sample, and it also creates a means of storing it effectively also. In addition to the backing paper, we have the backing slides, which enable us to just put a firm surface on the back if we want to maintain flatness for going to the microscope. Makes it a little more convenient. So those are just the essential parts of making a replica. If we have an unusual geometry, we might want to use some of the accessories that are available. For example, here's a casting which we've had tapped out and machined out, and we want to find information about the threads in the hole, or possibly the depth of the hole or the condition inside the hole. For that, we can try to get the nozzle gun in, but we can also use an extension tip that allows us to get the material way down into the sample, and as we dispense that, we just draw out slowly and it will fill that whole area, creating a replica, something like this. Another option is the spreader tips, the fishtail spreaders, which are good for something like this, where we want to cover a large area. Just put the fishtail spreader on the tip, and it makes it easier to dispense a wide band of the replica material so that we can end up with a replica something like this. For taking replicas well inside a tube or a gun barrel, for example, we have extension tubes which can be placed on the end of the tip, which allows the insertion of the material well inside a closed area, leaving a result something like this. Since most of the time the repliset system is being used in the field, we've created a convenient carrying case that will store all of the things that you need when out in the field. When you're finished with the replica, simply dismantle the gun, which just means removing the tube from the gun. Store the gun as it is. The mixing nozzle stays on the tube as a cap. Although it is disposable, it must be a new one will be used later. So there's plenty of storage for extra mixing nozzles right in the case. Samples need to be cleaned before they're replicated. So we have storage for an alcohol bottle and cotton balls that allow you to clean the samples before you work on them. There's storage here for the backing paper and the backing slides. Additional storage in the second tier for mixing nozzles, or for the spreader tips and the extension tubes. And also areas for you to store your samples right in the box. Also storage in the back for the different types of replicating material that you might need, whether it's the gray ones, fast setting, or the ones for use overhead. And always the directions and suggestions for work in the field so that you're using best practices. Close it up.
ready to travel.
Another type of two-component silicon rubber that we use is repliset. Repliset is less fluid when it's mixed, and it's less flexible when it's cured. And it can be used for holding the contour of an area that we're interested in. But most often, it's used in conjunction with repliset. In this case, we want the micro structure of the area or the machining of the part, but we're also interested in the contour of the part. So we'll use repliset to record the micro data, and then replifix to hold the contour and hold the shape. Simply used by using a small amount of both the yellow and the blue, an equal amount. Mix those until they become one color. Now that our replifix has been mixed, we simply apply to the back of the repliset and back up with a backing slide. And after 10 minutes of curing, you can remove the specimen, and it's ready for inspection on the microscope or for measuring on a measuring device for the contour.